welcome everybody for another Let's Play, and this one is of course, the theme of the title characters. Again, we wouldn't be a nostalgia road trip without playing some nostalgic games, and of course one of the top games I've always loved is the Konami Ninja Turtle series, especially the beat 'em ups. No one can ever beat Part 1, and if you do that, you are a god in my books. But we're gonna definitely play Ninja Turtles 3 Manhattan Project. You know what, let's see. Let's go with Donnie, just because Donnie was always great in the arcades because of his staff. But in these games, there really was no difference. Okay, the Turtles are enjoying their vacation on a beach in Florida. Surprisingly enough, not encountering any incidents involving a Florida man or someone eating his own face. Come on, Ebro's report is just about to start! Here in New York, crime is escalating. Wait, if crime is escalating every day, why are the Ninja Turtles on vacation? Oh, they got static. I guess they didn't pay for the cable box. Oh, bummer dudes, it's Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, that wouldn't be the first time Manhattan had its own problems. Turtles, I'm taking April along with Manhattan Island. If you want them back, come and get them. Pose, everybody. Okay, let's see. Let's get started. Let's go, Turtles. Start of a long, hard battle. Alright, let's see if I can remember. I know there's like one button problem I can just press, which is thing is down and attack. Yeah, that's the one-hit kill, rather than just hitting them with my bow staff, my weapon of choice. Yeah, this kind of made the game slightly more easier, but if I recall, it definitely just added more people onto the screen, and I think bosses were a little slightly difficult. Although I do love this game for the fact that it had a variety of bosses. It had like pretty much a good chunk of characters that were mostly like toys, or like maybe appeared like I know that I think of course you got your Bebop, your Rocksteady. But then it has like Dirtbag, Ground Chuck. It has like all the characters that appeared mostly are on toys, and I think Fugitoids. I think that's later in the level, if I recall. But look at that! That one hit kill, instantly, just taking it out. I want to see how far I can get to the game, so I'm gonna probably use up all my continues, which I think is only 3. Let's see how far I can get just playing all of this. Definitely Konami at a time, during this is the golden era of Konami, where they didn't do anything wrong, and not be like the husk of a shell that they are now, to the point that I think Sony wants to buy the Castlevania, Silent Hill, and the Metal Gear franchise off of them. Something you didn't see much in the animated series, where the animated series only had the purple foot soldiers, while this one always had like the colorful foot soldiers that were introduced in the original arcade game, aka Part 2, the arcade game, which got translated into the NES. Part 3 was its own thing with like different villains, and again, like I said, different variety in terms of villains, especially like Turtles in Time. It had that whole time travel concept, although I prefer the SNES version of Turtles in Time, just because instead of that weird muck monster they had in prehistoric time, they actually had Slash, the evil mutant turtle from Dimension X. Oh, not to mention, I definitely want to kudos to one of the writers for the animated series. Rest in peace. David Wise, person behind writing many of the scripts, and was in charge of, like, if he wasn't writing, he was supervising the scripts for a good chunk of all 8 seasons, but then he dropped out, of course, in the 9th season. And that was when it hit CBS, and when the stories just became more absurd. Although yes, the original concept is absurd, but the fact that even the stories went a little more out there, where the I guess we call it the Red Sky era, the Red Sky saga of the Ninja Turtles, the last seasons. Similar to like Batman the Animated Series, where the sky was all red for some reason. And I remember that I definitely stopped watching Ninja Turtles when the inception of Power Rangers started getting big, which I think was the turning point for a lot of people. And again, also, again, Ninja Turtles, especially the toys and certain characters, just became a lot weirder, especially when they started just introducing characters and just as an excuse to make toys. Do you all remember what is it, a Canadian Mountie, but it was a moose? And there were certain characters that were able to be animated. I know there was a character called Tattoo, which was a sumo wrestler with tattoos, but when he was introduced in the cartoon as a one-off special, I think that aired on CBS. I know they aired late night on CBS. It was let's see who the boss. Oh, of course it has to be Rocksteady. So Bebop will probably be the next boss if I recall. And of course, similar pattern. All right. Oh yeah, AB is a special attack that drains your. Oh crap. All right. Again, I gotta get used to redoing this again. It's been a while. Oh, and crap. Wrong button. Wrong button, but still, let's just go with it. I forgot you have to press A just to continue, not start or whatever. Damn. Okay, he's weak, but then again, he's the starter boss, so he's always the starter boss for some reason. Okay. Let's see. What the hell was that? Oh yeah, Tattoo was introduced in the cartoon, but then when he got beaten, he turned into a hamster. Made no damn sense. Again, there were two not straight to DVD, straight to video movies, but there were two specials. One introduced Chrome Dome, and the other one was the island of the planet of turtles. I forget what that was. And of course it was the Easter Bunny special and all that other stuff. Not to mention, Michelangelo's amazing performance in the much, well, I don't know if it's revered much, but the much promoted Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue. Everyone knows about Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue. It was, I think, during the Reagan administration, or Bush, I forget, that they had this special air on all channels at the same time, featuring all the stars from Saturday morning cartoons, helping Bugs Bunny and various other cartoons stop a kid from taking drugs. Mind you, it wasn't even deep, super drugs or crack cocaine. It was basically, weed? But again, back then, the war on drugs was a really interesting one. Again, this is the time where people, I guess, still believed in the whole reefer madness thing. When in reality, weed is a relaxing drug. It's supposed to just calm you down. And those who act insane are just assholes in general. I gotta hit this button layout again. Getting used to just only two buttons, A and B, but sometimes I forget to time my jumps, and there you go. It was basically out of all the characters, of all the Ninja Turtles they decide to choose, they choose Michelangelo. The one that's more closely related to probably using weed than any. You could have probably used Leonardo, but I guess they said he was too boring. You could have used Donatello, but then again, he was probably too nerdy and he'd probably go way into the info. And they already had their nerdy character who would break down, the scientific jargon, because they had, Simon from the Chipmunks. And Raphael would just be an angry dude who wants to get into a fight. And I don't think that's what they wanted. Funny enough, they did kind of have a similar, not like a Cartoon All-Stars against drugs, but they had a Roseanne version of it, but it didn't involve drugs. It involved Roseanne Barr and her husband at the time, Tom Arnold, and it was called Roseanne and Buddy's Cartoon Adventure or something. This was during the time the Little Rosie cartoon was on.
Wow, so this is Cartoon Land. It's so bright and cheery.
Yeah, it makes me want to puke.
Why anyone would want to make an animated series based on Roseanne is beyond me, but then again, we had Life with Louie afterwards. That was slightly more successful, but the Roseanne one made no goddamn sense. And again, this was an era when they tried to make cartoons out of everything. This was like late 80s, early 90s. So, hey, if it worked for rated R movies, you know what, maybe it'll work for comedians. Although I haven't seen whether or not there was ever an attempt to make a Bobcat Goldthwait Shakes the Clown animated feature or a show. But there was a lot of stuff, in the 80s that created, like, let's see, of course we had the RoboCop cartoon. Back to the Future, yeah, you can make a cartoon out of that, especially, although it did kind of like involve things that had part 1, 2, and 3, but it still did its own thing. Also the Bill and Ted cartoon. Mind you, I didn't know they were going to use the F word in that series, but again, they're able to turn it somehow around. And again, you could turn a show like that. There are certain movies, and whether it's rated R or even PG-13 or PG, there are certain movie franchises that you probably could turn into an animated feature. RoboCop, it's a far stretch. You can get if somehow you can get away with it. And mind you, RoboCop had like 2 turns. The original one in the late 80s, and then it had one in the early thousands. But this one was RoboCop, I think RoboForce, RoboCop something. The RoboCop robot Murphy was activated in the future, so he's taking on future criminals. It's forgettable. It definitely didn't do much. It was okay, but it wasn't RoboCop. Of course, we remember, was it Rambo and the Forces of Freedom? One of the big episodes being Rambo saving Santa Claus. Whatever. But back to Ninja Turtles, I honestly think like the reason why its appeal has been so like it will outlive us. For some people, we got the Rise of the Ninja Turtle cartoon. I haven't watched it, although I've seen clips online. Like, the animation's really fluid, really good. But it isn't me. And okay, it doesn't help that, it makes, Raphael the leader of the group, which is funny because I always harken it back to that Partners in Rhyme song from the first Ninja Turtle, the 89 Ninja Turtle movie, where one of the lyrics was, Raphael is the leader of the group. He's the leader of the group, transformed from the norm by the nuclear group. Like, that's the only thing that makes that series okay, because as a song accident. I definitely enjoyed the Nickelodeon one, the other one, the 2006, whatever. And then the 2003 one by Fox was pretty good on Fox Kids. That one was pretty good. It was definitely more harkened to the cartoon, and made Shredder. The first version of Shredder was a Rokusaki, but then it made him the Krang race. I forget what their actual race is. Okay, this is Beef Chuck, which mostly a good chunk of the characters, of course, were made to sell toys, and then occasionally some of them did appear in the comic book series, or some of them were ideas based from the early concepts or certain concepts or rejected concepts. But some of them, those people at Playmate Toys, some of them like were just allowed to just go crazy. Okay, make a mutant creature out of something just to sell a toy. Case in point, we got Ace Duck, which is just a fighter pilot who was a duck. And there were some characters. Some of them, again, like I said, some of them didn't make it into the cartoon. Let's see, like Mutoid Man. I know Beefsteak did come out. Dirtbag. I think they appeared in the same episode too. I think Pizza Face. I'm not remembering. Oh, okay, read them. I think Pizza Face did appear as a villain in one of the cartoon episodes. And let's see. Like, there was a lot of characters who didn't. Like, I'm still surprised that they only made 2 of the Bullfrogs toys, even though there were 4 others. Napoleon, Bonaparte, and I forget the other, D'Artagnan. Those are the only 2 that ever made it into toys, but I think there were 2. I know the Neutrinos, I think 2 of them were made into toys, and they released a Neutrino, like, hot rod car, but I forget if they released the other 2. I would know because I own literally a good chunk of them. And I stopped, my collection stopped when they started releasing, god damn it. when they started releasing the movie figures. Good detail, good, toys. And I remember I had the actual Toka and Razor, and I found it funny that the Toka is the turtle. Toka had the same body mold as the Slash toy that was released, you know, a couple of years earlier. Oh yeah, I think Bebop is the boss here. Oh, okay, General Trag or Rock Soldiers. Like, and you know what? I saw a commercial, I think, for a electrical company, a British electrical company that had better use of the CGI and the Ninja Turtle designs than anything Michael Bay ever released. I think it was for like some kind of British security system, if I recall. Really good. It came out like maybe around Super Bowl weekend. I think that's when it came out. Really good. If you can track it, you can see like, oh crap, it's really cool. Like Ninja Turtles as a whole, it's almost like it's the reason, at least my idea of it, is the reason it's lasted this long and the reason it might outlive us is because there has been so many iterations and all of them different, while still, you know, having the formula, of course, of mutant creatures that fight crime. But I think it's more or less the absurdity of the concept itself. Think about it this way: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, yes, you know, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, you know, took ideas from the comic books that were popular at the time, you know, New Mutants, Ronin by Frank Miller, and Daredevil. And again, those who know, though if you don't know, now you do, that the origin, the canister that blinded Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, is the same canister that turned 4 ordinary turtles into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We now return to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Man, that dude doing that voiceover for every commercial break had to have some kind of like, he had to have drunk like a lot of water with a pinch of lemon on it, because it sores my throat just saying it myself. You know, and good to know that, you know, that franchise has legs. You know, be it on Nickelodeon, Mirage Studios, or whatever company that owns it. I think it's just because, again, the absurdity of its title and just the premise alone, it sounds like something a child would make. You know, when you have a kid or a little brother or you know, a kid playing with the toys and they make up their own storyline with it, you can see that he put a lot of, oh, okay, here's Slash. Okay, so I forgot this game has mid-bosses too. Which again, it just expands the playability of it. Like, oh my god, there's so many villains you can fight. And, you know, for me being a big Ninja Turtle fan, like, it definitely was cool to be able to play these games and like, oh, I know this character, I know that character, I know this character. Like, there's enough knowledge in me about Ninja Turtles. I also find it funny that when Slash was first announced, at least debuting toy-wise, because again, you would see the toy commercials of the characters before they evidently, you know, showed up in the cartoon. So how he was promoted was he was the evil mutant turtle from Dimension X.
Are you talking about Slash, the twisted mutant turtle from Dimension X?
But when he was introduced in the cartoon, he was just a regular turtle that got exposed to the ooze created from Dimension X. So no matter whether he's from Dimension X, it's actually the vial of ooze that he was exposed to. I know that they did something similar for the Nickelodeon CGI version. Oh, good, pizza. Oh, damn, I'm also down to 1 health. But again, I'm gonna play through and see whether, hopefully I can get far. Hopefully I can get far, maybe even beat the game. Hopefully I'm not putting too much eggs in this basket, seeing how it's definitely more fun when you have more people playing with. I think it's the same amount of characters on screen, so 1 player or 2 player, it really isn't that much of a difference. I think just bosses have extended life bars. And again, it's really cool that you don't see the characters' life bars, all you see is them flashing colors. Nice little arcade touch, definitely helps. And let's from, like, again, the concept of Ninja Turtles, the Archie comics, and different spin-off characters like Ray Fillet. I used to call him Ray Fillet until I figured out, oh, that's how you say fillet. Ray Fillet. Oh, good one. You know, the Chrome Dome, Ray Fillet, Ace Duck, of course, Mutagen Man. I like the toy version of Baxter Stockman more than the animated version of him. same thing except he wears a lab coat, but it just looks good. Like if you pay attention to the details, the amount of details in those Playmates toys, you can see that like there's a lot of hidden details. Yes, like they put a lot of focus on something like character Squirrel's designs. Again, one of the main Muckman for example, and Joe Eyeball. Yeah, there we go. You know, he was made straight up of trash, and it looks so great in the details. Similar to Pizza Face. Like I like it that all these names of characters were like almost like insult names, like Pizza Face. Okay. What do you call someone with a lot of pimples? Especially me during high school. Pizza Face. You know, and Chrome Dome, you know, is definitely like a nickname. Things like that. Insults. Okay, here we go. Bebop. Hopefully I'm able to make it. I keep forgetting. Does 0 count as a health? Okay, I guess I'll find out whether or not if I die and I go to the main menu, or at least do I get one more chance to beat him. I can't forget the issue that this aired on Nintendo Power. Oh good, I still have one. Maybe I'll beat him. I remember the Nintendo Power issue. I forget which one that actually had the cover to this. Like, I could not put that issue down because it was like, holy crap, a new Ninja Turtle game. It has all these unique bosses and things like that. It's definitely something, it was definitely something for my youth, especially one who wasn't able to collect or purchase Nintendo Power. Okay, I'm dead. That's one down. How many continues do I get out of this? Let me see. Okay, 3. I can continue. Hopefully I get far. Again, this is, let's see how far I can get. I'm just gonna stick with who I know right now. Maybe I'll change it, you know, next time I die. Or pass out. no deaths in video games, I guess. Whatever. What I really like, to be honest, okay, movie-wise, the 1989 movie dominates all. Still the greatest movie ever made. Still the best adaptation of the Ninja Turtle characters by incorporating, you know, things, elements from the animated, from the cartoon show, as well as the actual Eastman and Laird black and white run. That was a great, perfect balance. And at the time, it was considered the highest grossing independent movie ever. You know, before, what is it? Miramax? Was it? No, New Line Cinema got bought off by Warner Brothers. Because by then, you know, it was there's a reason why New Line Cinema was considered the house that Freddy built. Because it was just a distributing company. And it didn't actually make any money until it made the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Which then, and behold, they were able to, you know, purchase the rights to distribute various other movies and even produce. So they were still considered independent studio, which is why Ninja Turtles, when it was released, it became the highest grossing independent movie of that time, because again it was produced and funded by an independent studio, because the big studios at the time thought, hey, a live action Ninja Turtle movie, a movie based on a franchise, a product that everybody loves and knows, no one's gonna want to see that. And then lo and behold, look what happens. And now that, you know, Warner Brothers has the rights. I think, yeah, they had the rights, or Paramount, which is whatever, because they own Nickelodeon. Now they're able to make Ninja Turtle movie, and I thought Part 1 was passable. It wasn't Ninja Turtles, but again, the thing that always gets to me when people see a new iteration of a well-established or a well-beloved franchise, like they act all upset. Because they think like, oh my god, this version is not what I remember. This is not my version. Cancel this, or I'm not gonna watch it. That's fine. It's not meant for you. It's meant for the new generation. You know, it might not be your cup of tea, but guess what? It's not meant for you. Like, your version still exists, and that's the thing I never understood. Because people always complain about. People literally to the T will always complain like, oh, this isn't my version, this isn't whatever. Just because it isn't your version and it doesn't appeal to you, doesn't mean that it completely negates or erases from existing your, you know, version. You know, heck, I like the 1989 Ninja Turtles cartoons, the 89 first movie, Part 1, Part 2 is okay still. You know, blame parenting boards and focus groups for why Part 2 is completely different than Part 1. You know, I like the 2003 Fox, Fox 5, Fox Box one, and I really enjoyed the Nickelodeon 2006. I think it's 2006, 2012. I forget. Like those versions, like Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not my cup of tea. I see animation, but I don't have time to watch it. I can see what they're trying to do. I'm not gonna, say like, oh, it's my version, it's the best. Again, this is all for the new generation. Let them enjoy it. And again, if anything, if they're interested, hey, guess what? You can introduce them to the old original version or any other version that you like, and maybe they'll like it too. Like, it doesn't completely erase the existence of your version just because, they're gonna be releasing Ninja Turtles 89 Part 2 and, to a lesser extent, Ninja Turtles 3, aka dubbed by many of the fans Turtles in Time. They're gonna release it on Blu-ray, on triple pack sets, whatever new way of watching movies ends up being. They will always release it, for whatever that is. The new step in technology. With HD DVD, we had Betamax, then we had VHS, Laserdisc, and then we had DVDs. Then we had HD DVDs, and then we had Blu-rays. Whatever the next step is gonna be, they'll always release another version of those movies. Because guess what? You can never beat the classics. And more importantly, you can never beat that because guess what? We're all still gonna watch it. We're all still gonna buy them. We're all still gonna, entertain ourselves with them. The good thing about it, it'll always be there. So whether it's not for you, hey, guess what? That's fine. They exist in other ways. Okay, so I'm back here, good sense of health, so I should be able to make it against these Rock Lords. The Rock Lords! Go back to GoBots. Go back to GoBot Land. And again, some of you like GoBots. Look at that. I hate GoBots. I don't like GoBots, but heck, I'll appreciate GoBots for what it is. I like the Rock Lords, which is probably the only toy of the GoBot line that I ever owned to begin with. Just because it's a rock transformer? Whatever? Okay, hold on. Oh, god damn it. Come on, get that pig man! Alright, come on. Let's get that pig man with his balls and his head. Okay, getting some hits in right now. Come on, I almost got you. You're literally not flashing any more colors. That's how bad you are. There we go. And his WCW Dungeon of Doom brother monster truck there, which I don't ride. I have to ride the blimp back to the city. Also, huge credit to the composers of, again, this era of Konami cannot be beat because it was so good. The composers involved made some great music. Although, yes, it is just variations on the Ninja Turtle theme, but all of them were still catchy as hell. I still enjoyed them. Oh, crap, just got myself punched. Oh, I didn't lose that much health, but I lose pretty much health. Let's see. So you got your regular foot soldiers. You also got pink foot soldiers that throw harpoons. You got your yellow foot soldiers that throw either sand in your face or boomerangs. You got your red foot soldiers that throw ninja stars. Oh crap, I forgot I can actually throw that back to them if I time it correctly. And I think and you have your white ones that are like Prince of Persia. They jump at you with huge swords. These are. I forgot there's. Oh yeah, and I think there's ones that jump real high, like a body slam or do an elbow drop. I forget what the heck. Throwing you bananas here. Like it slightly looks like another version of the original. Well, Part 2, but like certain, things were changed to still like separate itself. And again, this is still fun. It feels still good. It's still challenging, hard. Not gonna say it's like the Dark Souls of Ninja Turtle games, but it's freaking, it's entertaining. It's hard. It's difficult at some places. All right, let's see. Okay, banana soldiers. Banana. I definitely gotta get back into playing Turtles in Time. I definitely want to try that play again. Actually, you know what? Hyperstone Heist. Hyperstone Heist doesn't get that much love just because it's shorter on levels, but the level designs are longer. They stretch out more, and they combine. Whereas it could have been, I believe it's like 3 different stages are combined into one long one, and the boss selection variety isn't that deep compared to the actual Super Nintendo counterpart. It's kind of like this one. This one has a huge variety of bosses. Oh no, I don't think Baxter Stockman is in this one. I know he's in part 2. He replaced Rocksteady and Bebop at the same time because, of course, the NES power. Although, it's funny because, you know, the NES did show, you know, if you ever played Eureka, I forget what it is, what it was called. I forgot, it's one of those Sunsoft games. But it's Utopia? Exphoria? I forget what it is. But it, you know, it showed like you can push the NES, you know, power to a limit. All right, let me see if I can bounce this back. There you go. Suck it, Foot Soldier. You know, like I know Krang is always gonna be the boss. Shredder, I think Super Shredder. Yeah, Super Shredder because this came like right at the pretty much the end life cycle of the NES. Which was, you know, so it had something, because I remember, yeah, no, actually, the Nintendo was still around when the Super Nintendo was still, you know, in its early years, because I remember Tournament Fighters came out for the NES as well, and Lord knows Slowdown and, you know, definitely showed up, especially on a fighting game for the NES. That's, okay, how do I, from a distance? Because I know the ones with the giant, I guess, hacksaws, yeah, I can hit from a distance. Okay, I think these are just kick only. Okay, I'm about to die here. They throw sand. That's weird. Okay. Gee, I didn't know Central Park had ninjas. Oh no, the ninja trick. I'm sorry, sometimes this music is just so good. But back on the Ninja Turtles front, like, this is this game. If you can able, I think it's fairly moderate. You know, you can get it I think for like $40. I don't know what it is. So luckily I own it, so I'm able to play this fine, perfectly good. But like, oh god, like game collecting is such a it's a bore because you never have enough money, and not to mention that the minute you have, you know, you have the funds to afford it, there's always whatever it is goes up in price, probably because the availability or the rarity of it. I know, like, geez, I'm trying to purchase myself a copy of Rule of Rose for the PlayStation 2. Good luck owning that. Hey, good luck also tracking down a copy of Tulip, which was only exclusive to GameStop at the time, and now you can't find it until you pay like almost like $200. But back again to the NES port. Oh yeah, these are the ones. Well, they don't really do an elbow drop. So the Orange Foot Soldiers do a body slam? A splash? A stinger splash? It's a graveyard bash. There's always something to take care, you know, to keep your mind occupied, especially with this. Although yes, the actual attacks are limited, but you know, let's see. Attack, you got your drop kick, you got your 2-button press attack. Plus you got that little down and attack button that does this. Flip them by their dicks and they automatically die in one hit. I forget who the bosses in the stage is. Oh, there. Okay, oh, that didn't help now, did it? Am I gonna get trapped again? Okay, no, I got this one. Do these things have anything? I forget. I forget. Do these? Okay, no, that was useless. That just wasted my health. I guess I'm mistaking it with Final Fight barrels where they come at you and they actually have health. Alright, let's see here. See, look at that. Without fail. Which is probably showing how bad I am at this game, that the fact that I died earlier on and I probably could have survived, at least made it this far without using continue. Can I make this? Yes! Okay, that's good. Good. Okay, get in the back of my van. They're it has free candy written on the side, so be careful. Okay, yeah, these foot soldiers, 2x4, whatever, just hit, and they just walk real slow. Oh yeah, I just get it. That was my fault. Oh, and again, I think I mentioned this before about my 2 episodes of the Saturday Morning Breakfast Mix that were taken down. One by TMS, which was my Cyber 6 review, because apparently I used the opening theme, which is weird. And the other one was my Toxic Crusaders cartoon, which is weird because Lloyd Kaufman, and was it Lloyd Kaufman? And some representatives at Troma were okay with it. In fact, they were asking me if they can use my review for their streaming service, as to air it on their thing. But from the looks of it, it's some kind of other copyright company that's just seemed to put all these restrictions, like an outside company that's just taking anything for a copyright infringement. I don't know what the hell. Okay, is this the boss? No, it's just a subway train full of foot soldiers. And if you ride the train here in New York, it'll be, instead of foot soldiers, replace it with naked homeless men. We're swinging their dicks or exposing their buttocks. Okay, so it's Dirtbag. Dirtbag? Yeah. Dirtbag. Yeah, Dirtbag. Yeah, this one definitely had all the newer villains, toy-wise. And heck, they did a good job, animated them and giving them some abilities. You know what toy character I never wondered, was always weirded out? You remember in Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, the NES version, had 2 extra levels. One of them is in of course, New York, and you're fighting a giant polar bear dressed as a 1930s, 1940s greaser. And then there was one you fought in a Japanese temple, I think, and you fought kind of like an Oni, demon character that was able to detach his head and fly around, but in reality he was a robot. I'm surprised those 2 were never released in toy form. I wouldn't say I would wanted to play, wanted the greaser polar bear, but I wouldn't mind having that samurai shogun robot they had. Ronin warriors. That Ronin warrior powers in the armor knockoff. Okay, I'm having some troubles here, but he's defeatable. He's beatable. Again, all of them have a pattern, but I just want to try and see how fast or how moderately I can get through this game. I forget how many stages. I think there's 8 levels. 5? No, yeah, 8 levels because I'm in the sewer. So there's always gonna be a sewer level. Just like any beat 'em up will have an elevator level for some reason, because all the top villains are always in a high rise or something like that. Okay, let's see. Alright, no. I thought Mousers were gonna pop out of part of there. Oh, also the first 4 episodes of Ninja Turtles, they were amazing. Again, was it Toy Animation or TM? No, it was TMS Animation who they made the pilot, and then another company made the other episodes. Wolf Dick. I forget what it was. But the first 4 episodes were definitely made by a Japanese studio. Oh, have any of you actually seen the Japanese Ninja Turtle cartoon that they turn into humanoid weird turtles that with human this parts, human parts. And also I think they have a mech too. I forget, everything has to have a mech, like Japanese Spider-Man for some reason. All right, have anybody seen that? That's weird. And I thought anything from the Archie comics was a little bizarre. I remember an Archie issue where I think Raphael dies because of some alien queen, but he's not really dead. He's just unconscious, like any comic book you know, cliffhanger. Is he dead? No, he's just unconscious, but we just like to draw this cool image of that character dying.